What is up, guys? Pastor John here. Welcome to my channel, Man of God, where we draw closer to Christ to become the men that God desires us to be. Today, we are talking about friendship. I got some friendship advice, some advice I wish I would have known when I was younger. So, stay tuned if you're an older guy, because I got some stuff for you. But for now, let's focus on the younger guys. When I was a young man, I'm 35 now. Back in my day, Facebook was actually good. You had MySpace. You had AOL Instant Messenger. There was no better thing to do than come home from 7th grade and hop on your dial-up internet and see who was on AOL Instant Messenger. When I was in high school, I had thousands of friends on Facebook. Friends, in quotations. When you're in high school, friend groups are a big thing. It's like your whole life. Like, what's your little tribe? What's your clique of friends? You know, are you a popular dude? Athletic? Are you emo, geek, band? I was like a band guy, a band geek. Played the bass drum. And then when you get out of high school in your 20s, that's probably the peak of the friend groups because you get to mix in alcohol and more sex.
Hawaii. All right, that's good. It's hard to trace, I guess. Wait, you changed your name to McLovin?
And, you know, all the shows like Friends, was like New Girl. There's tons of them. Big Bang Theory. That's always set in your 20s. So that's the apex. So culture tells all people, not just men, how friends should be obtained, interacted with, and our culture is obsessed with friends. We still have social media apps. I mean, it's more prevalent than ever before. Instagram, Snapchat, you name it. When you're younger, this is for the young guys. When you're younger, friend groups are everything, and you try to appease people in your friend group, right? I think there's two types of people in a friend group, generally speaking, right? It can be a little bit more fluid than this, but there's the cool people who kind of just observe, and then there's the entertainers who please the cool people. So every friend group has cool people and every friend group has entertainers. I was an entertainer. I was always trying to make people laugh and have a good time. And if I wasn't on every time, people would be like, "Oh, what's wrong, John? You seem down. You're not your joyful self, blah, blah, blah." Eventually, these friend groups usually dissolve because the cool people find new entertainers, and the entertainers usually burn out because they're not being themselves. There's nothing inherently wrong with friend groups. People have friend groups throughout their entire life. It's just when you're younger, friend groups are not always the best because you're not being yourself, and you can sacrifice your beliefs or morals to please people. As you get older, that becomes less likely. You find friend groups that really fit who you are. But when you're younger, there's one key thing with these friend groups that is super beneficial, but that nobody talks about, and that is foster the actual friendship in that group. So every friend group has relationships where it's kind of loose, right? Like you might have your best friend, and then these other people are kind of like your secondary friends. Everybody knows kind of what I'm talking about with that. You can understand what I'm saying if you've ever started to hang out with somebody in your friend group that's not your best friend, like you've never hung out with that person outside of the friend group and it's just awkward. When you are young, foster your best friend relationship. Do not let that go, because as you get older, those really tight friends, usually you only have one, maybe two. Those are the ones that are going to last. When I was going through my 20s, I started to realize, like, I'm not going to have the same friends for the rest of my life, which is almost like a no-brainer, but I think a lot of young people don't think about that. Like, you think, okay, these people from high school are going to be with me forever. And then you go to college and you're like, okay, these people from college. And then you get your first job and, oh, okay, I'm going to stay friends with. And you don't. Each phase of your life, you get new friends. But as you get older, it's harder and harder to make friends. And those friends, the connections are never as strong as the ones that you had when you were younger. In particular, your best friends. Like, no one, when they're 35 years old, is forming really tight best friend relationships. At most, you're meeting up with people because you go to the same church, or you're like in a bowling league, or you just work together. It's when you're young that you really form those connections. And that's what I'm saying is, you need to hold on to those connections like your life depends on it, because when you get older, you need those best friends. You need to connect with them. And there's a lot of older guys, a lot of guys that are my age and older, that have lost those friends because of broken relationships, maybe disagreements, maybe just negligence because they haven't kept up with the relationship. And now they're 35, 40, 50. They still have friends. Like, they still have these friend groups. Like, they go golf with guys, whatever. But they don't have somebody who's their, like, best friend. They're somebody who they can really be themselves, entirely confide in, somebody who can sharpen them and make them a better man.
Oh my God, Alan, are you okay? Hey,
My girlfriend broke up with me.
I'm sorry, man.
My girlfriend broke up with me.
Stop being a baby.
And I have really one best friend, and I'm sure he'll watch this, but I can text him, call him. I met him in college, and I tell him all of my issues, all my problems, and there are not many men who have that. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have that best friend. And that best friend to me is like a precious gem. And outside of my wife, right, like, I think anybody who's married should be best friends with their wife, but you need a male best friend. I'm reading, still working on it, Lord of the Rings, the fourth book, right, because I count The Hobbit, Return of the King, and you see the friendships, Merry and Pippin, Gimli and Legolas, Sauron and Saruman. No, that one doesn't count. So, young guys, just know that you won't be friends with everybody who you're friends with right now for the rest of your life. You got to let go of some of these friend groups, especially if they're toxic. Be yourself. Find people that you can actually grow with, and you're not just entertaining, or you're not just trying to interact with to be entertained yourself. And older guys, rekindle those old friendships. You know, your best friend from high school or college. I mean, you might have grown apart, but I bet if you reconnect, it'll be just like old times. We need men to sharpen us. We cannot do it on our own. And when you do reconnect with your friend, be real with them. Say, hey, I've been struggling with, drinking or working too much, or, porn. I've been cheating on my wife, whatever it is. Like, that's big stuff. But if you keep that inside, you don't have anybody to share it with, you're screwed. The devil's going to get you. So I don't want the devil to get you guys. I want you guys to flourish. I want you to know the love of Christ. And in Proverbs 27:9, it says, a sweet friendship refreshes the soul. So I want your soul to be refreshed, right? And, I just want the best for you guys. So if you have a friend, a best friend, hold on to him as like a precious gem. If you've let your friend go, text him right now. Say, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? Let's go get a burger. Let's reconnect. So I'll leave you with this blessing. May the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Until next time.